Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Art with Miss Myra. I'm so glad that you have joined me today. And today is Thursday, and I've decided to devote Thursdays to teens and adults who would like to, do a kind of a more advanced project. And so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making string art. Today is Thursday, April 7th. So hope that you guys are all getting out and enjoying the nice warm weather. It's still kind of windy here in North Dakota, but we're not getting snow today. I talked to a friend of mine in the eastern part of the state this morning, and they were getting snow out there. So we can be happy here in the western part of the state that we're not getting snow. They can keep it over in the east. So, all right, so what we're going to need for today's project, and there are a lot of things that we're going to need, or actually not a lot, but just a couple of simple things. We're going to need a 2x12 board cut into a square, and then we're going to need stain for your board, a design that you're going to cut out and then put on your board, and you're going to go around that with nails. You're going to need nails that have a head to it, okay? So this is what I'm talking about. You're going to need a nail that has a head, and because this week we are devoting all of the projects this week, or I'm devoting all the projects this week to, the celebration of Easter, because Easter will be on Sunday, and spring is, just such an awesome time of the year. I want you guys to do either a heart or an Easter egg. So I'm going to show you an example of string art that I did actually about 2 years ago, and I did it on barnwood. And this is barnwood that I had from my farm. We had an old barn, that was on our farm and stuff that was taken down. So this is the barnwood from the farm, and this yarn that I used in here, instead of doing a really crazy pattern, I did a really exact pattern because I wanted to showcase the yarn. This is alpaca yarn that I dyed, and spun myself, that I used on this project. And that is, I just wanted to show you guys that. So, you can use, you don't have to use the prepared boards like we are using. You can also use barnwood, and that's just a really unique way of showcasing some older wood. So, but we're going to get started today, and so I'm going to move my phone down so you guys can kind of see what we're working on, and we'll go from there. So, okay, so in this, I want to show you guys, this is a board that I prepped. And what you're going to have to do is, when you get your boards cut, so if you go, to your, if you're still able to go out, you can have your local lumberyard, cut your boards. My dad cut my board for me, and he cut it out of a 2x12 board, okay? And so what that means is this is 2 inches by 12 inches wide, 2 inches, thick. That's the density, the thickness, and then by 12 inches. Okay, so it's actually 11 and 3/4 that's what a 12-inch wide board is. And then I had him cut me squares. I wanted a square. I wanted a perfect square, and so he cut me squares. And so what I have already done to this is I have already sanded this. So I took sandpaper and I sanded down the rough edges, and you guys will have to do that to prep your board. And then I stained this, okay? So I just used, I don't even know what it was and stuff. It was just some stain that we had around here and stuff, and I stained the board, and now I've let it thoroughly dry. And so for this one, I wanted my heart design, and so I drew my heart design out, and I just left this in here to show you guys. You can lay your design down. You can you don't have to tape it if you just want to leave it down. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pound your nails in, and you're going to pound them in as even. You can tell I'm not a perfectionist here with nail pounding. I'm good at a lot of things. Doing that is not good. Shh, don't tell my dad and stuff, because like I said, he owns a lumber yard and he's a farmer and a rancher, and he used to take us out when we were little kids and have us practice pounding in nails. I didn't like that. My younger brother did, but I didn't. So, but you're going to want to pound these nails in. You're going to want to leave about a 1/2 inch between each nail. So when we start doing this design with our yarn, you know, it's going to make all kinds of designs in here and stuff. But I'm going to set this one aside because I've already shown an example of how the heart looks completed. And so I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to get the Easter egg one, and that is the one that we are going to work on today. Okay, and so here is my Easter egg that I did. So what I did is I just drew out an Easter egg on a piece of paper, and then I laid the design down, and I put my nails, I pounded my nails in, and you want to keep them all about the same height. Okay, so when you're pounding them down, you want to make sure that they're all kind of sticking out of the wood about the same height, okay? And you can see that I kind of offset my egg here a little bit, so I have more room on this side. So when my project is all done today, I'm going to take some black paint and I'm going to write Happy Easter down the side here, and you guys can do something similar to that, okay? But I'm going to show you how this house string art works. And like I said, there's a lot of prep that goes into, you know, getting your board ready and you know, sanding your board, staining your board, pounding in the nails. And then when it gets down to the actual creating your design on here, it goes so quick. So, but there's been a lot of prep that has gone into this beforehand. And so I hope that you guys just have a lot of fun doing that, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take multiple different yarns, different colors of yarns, and I'm going to make just a design on this, okay? And so this is, you know, Myra's method of measuring. I don't measure anything, so I'm just going, this is how I measure. I put it to my nose, and then I hold my arm out the longest, and that's, you know, approximately a yard. So if any of you helped your grandma, you know, when you were a little kid, and if any of you help your grandma, like when she was sewing or quilting or something and stuff, that's the way my grandma taught me how to measure, was, you know, just hold it to your nose and then extend your arm completely out, and that's about a yard. That's about 3 feet. So, okay, so what I'm going to do to start this is I'm going to start down here on my bottom peg, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to tie a knot. And I'm not, you know, it doesn't have to be any special kind of knot. We all know how to tie our shoes, right? This is just a knot that you make when you tie your shoes. So nothing special. And I always double knot all of my knots. Okay, so now I'm going to trim my little tail. And then I'm going to make sure that this is at the top of my nail, and I'm going to just pick another nail up here, and I'm going to just start making a design. And I would just want to go around nail to nail. If I, you know, I want to make sure that I have enough to make another tie, you know, tie another knot when I get down to this. My last one. Okay, same deal. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to snip the tail. Okay, and actually I'm going to measure out a little bit longer piece so it doesn't go so quick. So I'm going to measure out 3. So I have 3 yards. So I'm going to do that 3 times from my nose to the end of my arm. Okay, and then I'm just going to go here. Oops. And actually sometimes if you just, you know, start your knot, you can just hold it like this and then put it down. But I want this to all kind of be, you know, spring colors. So I'm going to use pink and purple and blue. And we're just going to go, you know, up and down, any which way. But we just want to make sure that we're not going to use any of the nails twice. Okay, now I've got to end here. And you can notice and stuff that the heart design that I showed you guys earlier, that was a really precise design that I did with my yarn and stuff. I went up and down, but I was showcasing that yarn because that is a yarn that like I said, that came off of my alpacas, and I spun that yarn myself. I processed it and spun the yarn myself, and so I was showcasing the yarn there and stuff. I wasn't doing anything but, you know, just that. So, ooh, and I'll get pink yarn here if I can get it out. Okay. Sometimes in yarn you get knots. My favorite place to buy yarn is at rummage sales. I love, you know, just picking up, if I have a project that I want to make use acrylic yarn, which some of my you know, crafts that I do, especially with kids, I want acrylic yarn. I don't want wool yarn because wool yarn is more expensive. So I, you know, look at rummage sales, at estate sales for yarn, and that's a good place to look, you know, for stuff like that, and you can usually pick that stuff up pretty cheap. So okay, and just like I said, we're gonna just go up, you know, back and forth, and we're just trying to create a design, but we want to make sure and get them in our, you know, completely over the nail head. And we don't really want to, well, I guess you can if you want to. You can use, you know, the nail head twice. But we want to make sure that they're all filled. And when I tie, I want to make sure that I'm getting, you know, this on here pretty tightly. We don't want it to come off. So I hope everyone is getting out, like I said, and enjoying the nice warm weather today. I think it's still pretty windy outside. My dog Daisy does not especially like the wind, but she's getting a little bit more, you know, she's getting better and stuff. She's getting more used to it. So poor little thing, she thinks she's gonna blow away, I think. Okay, and I'm just gonna make sure that all my nails are filled and have, you know, at least one piece of yarn on them. And I'm kind of getting to the point and stuff now where all of my nails are filled. If you want to make this more dense, you know, you can, by all means, go ahead and fill some of these nail heads twice. It's all personal preference and what you would like to do, okay? But I just wanted to show you guys an example of how to do this really fun project. Oops. Okay, so there we go. That is our Easter egg that we have just done. And like I said, I'm going to go in a little bit later, and because I did offset this on my board that I prepped, and I'm going to take some black paint and do Happy Easter here on the side. I will go ahead and post on Facebook. If you're watching this on Facebook, I will go ahead and post a picture down in the comments. And if you're watching me on YouTube, I will post a picture of the finished product in the description. So, but there we go. That's how you do string art. I hope that you guys all enjoyed today's lesson. Tomorrow, on Good Friday, we are going to be making a really special project called a God's Eye weaving, okay? And so the only supplies that you will need for this is you're going to need 2 popsicle sticks, and you're going to need some yarn or some embroidery thread, okay? So that's the only thing that you're going to need for tomorrow's project. I hope that you all join me back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time for the next episode of Art with Miss Myra. And until then, have a great evening. Bye-bye.